In the dying winter of 1945, the wind that swept across the ruins of Western Germany carried the scent of ash, diesel, and the cold weight of a nation that had unraveled. Buildings once alive with conversation now standing gutted and trembling under their own shadows. And amid the devastation, 12-year-old Lucas Becker crouched behind the frozen shell of a collapsed shed, staring toward distant floodlights that marked the American supply post, whispered in the town as both danger and the last hope for the starving. His breath fogging the air in ragged bursts as he studied the patrol paths, the angles of the lights, the rhythm of the guards' movements. Hunger having carved him into something half wild, but still, in his eyes, the softness of the child beneath desperation lingered. And he pressed his gloved fingers into the snow, testing how silently he could crawl, every inch in negotiation between survival and exposure. Rumors of American soldiers shooting looters on sight, mixing with whispers of kindness, chocolates shared with children, warm soup for old women. Yet he knew only one certainty: his brother and sister had not eaten since yesterday morning. And that memory, hollow eyes and trembling lips, pushed them forward through the snow-crusted ruins, darting between shattered walls tilted like broken teeth, artillery rumbling in the distance, smoke drifting from chimneys that were more holes than structures, listening for rifles or trucks, heart pounding in his ears, until he reached the outskirts of the supply post, paused beneath a sagging wire fence, slipped through a narrow gap, and saw wooden crates marked U.S. Army rations half buried in snow, edges glinting like treasure. Prying open the first empty crate, pocketing a scrap of foil, approaching the second, partially covered, seemingly too easy, only for a sudden gust to reveal him as heavy bootsteps drew closer, flashlight beams slashing the snow, voices calling. And he froze, pressed against broken pallets, breath caught, terror raw as the beam washed over his face. But then a soldier, young, firm yet gentle, motioned for him to stand, spoke slowly. "I'm not going to hurt you," coaxing Lucas upright, the second soldier approaching with soft acknowledgement of hunger. And slowly, trembling, Lucas admitted he only wanted food. The soldiers exchanging glances that transformed suspicion into tentative protection, offering warm gestures and gentle words. The blond private introducing himself as Miller, the corporal and sergeant assessing him not as a thief, but as a child, and together they provided soup, biscuits, and chocolate, the warmth and sweetness flooding him with disbelief and relief, allowing him to absorb a sense of care foreign yet palpable in the bitter winter night. The sergeant speaking quietly of family and escorting him safely home, the soldiers gathering coats and gloves, readying for the cautious journey, Lucas clutching the cloth bundle like treasure, warmth radiating through him, stepping into the snow with guidance at his side, flanked by vigilant yet protective men, navigating the ruined town with precision, shadows dancing across the icy streets as wind stirred snowflakes like sparks, tension hovering even in the glow of floodlights, until at last they reached the edge of Lucas's street, the crooked door of his home flickering with candlelight, his mother, brother, and sister waiting with a fragile hope, relief washing over their faces as he handed over the bundle, biscuits and chocolates spilling into grateful hands, the soldier standing back silently, respecting the moment. And as Lucas stepped inside, warmth and safety enveloping him, he cast a glance at the men who had guided him through the perilous night, whispered thanks too small for the enormity of their gift, and watched them retreat across the snow, shadows stretching and merging with the winter darkness. Knowing years later, long after the war ended and the ruins were rebuilt, that memory of American soldiers walking him home through that cold, uncertain night remained the clearest thing he carried. The night where fear and mercy had moved together in the dark. And sometimes, on quiet evenings, he wondered whether those shadows had been real or whether mercy itself had been the thing moving through the snow.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.